I did an order yesterday of about $4 million, roughly half in gold, half in junk silver. It basically, to fill the order, I cleaned out 3 separate wholesalers of junk and numismatics. Chris, the news came out yesterday, and I've not seen it confirmed, but as I understand, Justin Trudeau's foundation or trust or whatever owns 40% of a company that is a supplier to Pfizer. So follow the money. Getting back to what I was talking about, the tightness in metals, you've got to look a step or a couple steps forward. If people are getting their bank accounts frozen, if people are getting their cryptos frozen, does that not on its own start or make people think, I need to get my money out of the bank? And what better way to have capital that someone cannot shut you off from than to have metal in hand, because it's money. So all I'm getting at is the supply is very, very tight right now, and they've done some things in Canada now that I think is going to spook the herd and probably push huge money toward gold and silver. Don't do. I'm not in the institutional world. I deal in retail. And I did an order yesterday of about $4 million, roughly half in gold, half in junk silver. It basically, to fill the order, I cleaned out 3 separate wholesalers of junk and numismatics. So that should give you an idea and I mean, $4 million in today's world is not that much money. But if $4 million is a tough order to place today, what's it going to be tomorrow or next week or next month as more and more capital begins to flee? I mean, look what's happened in Canada. You've got bank accounts being closed. We're hearing that Bitcoin wallets have been seized. Well, wait a minute. I thought Bitcoin, we were told originally Bitcoin is private. You do transactions. Nobody can see them. The wallets are impenetrable. And it turns out, if you donated $40 to the trucker convoy, you get your bank account shut down, or you get your crypto wallet shut down.
I typically don't keep much more than 6 months worth of bills in a bank. If I get a large inflow of money or a large check or whatever, my personal savings, I just buy junk silver. I buy junk silver, I have it stored, and obviously you have to have metal on hand, but I use junk silver as my savings because I know that I can't wake up tomorrow morning and find out my bank closed and the accounts have been bailed in. And if you look at FDIC legislation, the bail-ins are already, the laws are already written. They're already on the books. So this next time around, there will not be bailouts. There will be bail-ins. First off, you need to understand that the banks are not going to lose. It'll be the people who lose. It'll be the population. If you go back to Weimar Germany, what did they do with loans, with mortgages? What they did was they rewrote all the mortgages into grams of gold at the time that you borrowed. And obviously it was easier to do back then because gold was basically pegged. Gold and the dollar. At the end of the 1920s, gold was $20 an ounce, and then there was a relationship between the Reichsmark and the dollar. And then the Reichsmark started collapsing. And once it fully collapsed, what they did was they rewrote all the mortgages in grams of gold. So no, the borrowers did not get to walk away pretty much free and clear by, dropping a trillion, or not a trillion, 100,000 Reichmark note, which was not even worth a cup of coffee. Is if you can pay your mortgage off and you've locked in a rate of, 3%, 4%, 5%, I would be inclined not to pay the mortgage, but to hold metal alongside that. In other words, pretty much my whole life, I've owned enough gold and enough silver to pay off all my debt. And this goes back to when I was in my 20s. So it gave me comfort knowing that if the system did collapse, I would have the ability to pay my debt off in something that was not going to bankrupt if the entire system bankrupted. I think it is a possibility. You've seen governments go down those lines, many times throughout history. Can they confiscate? Obviously, a bank bail-in, that's a way to confiscate. But can they go and get your brokerage account? Can they get your IRA or retirement accounts? With the IRA and retirement accounts, what they can do, and I would say if they do anything, this is the way they would do it, is that they would take your assets and then replace it with some type of bond, some type of monthly income that to start with looks good, but with the dollar being debased, a year or two later, it's like you lost your pension. So, that's a possibility. They did confiscate gold in 1933. Of course, they revalued it in 34 once the population did not have gold any longer. But if you're worried about confiscation of gold, what you should look at would be the pre-1933 Liberties and St. Gaudens. Those are considered collectibles. And you could have 1,000 ounces, 5,000 or coins, 0.9675. You could have, 5,000, 10,000, $20 gold pieces, and you should not legally be considered a hoarder. You'd be considered a coin collector.